Is that the way it's supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Okay, we're live now, so I don't know if we need to say everyone's names or not that's here, or if you just submit that on your evaluation or not. You guys can decide, I guess. I don't care. Some classes you're supposed to at the beginning of the discussion. I didn't read that.
I didn't see it. I think we just all do it. Whoever's going to scribe puts all of our names on the paper.
Oh, perfect. Who wants to be the scribe?
I don't.
No, I don't do it. I will do it. I don't want to do it, but I will definitely do it. Okay. But I need lots of feedback then.
I think that's the worry everybody has right now. Is this one was very short and
Yeah.
not much direction given, and so I had to really think about, like, I had to go back and read certain things and just kind of try to relate it to this, because this semester is hard to remember with all the other classes I'm taking.
Oh,
I know. That's how I feel too. I keep thinking, oh my gosh, is this in this class or another class? Because they're
Yeah.
all so similar. Oh, yeah, I agree. Okay, then I will be the scribe. I think we can all agree on the summarizing it. So I already have that summarized. We don't really need to talk about it as long as everyone read it. Okay. Let's talk about the principles or concepts from the course that can be applied in offering direction to the family.
I think all of them, I'll get my notes here, but I think I felt like everything we have learned can be applied to them. Let me see my notes here. The principle, I think a family council will be very good for them to practice, that they can talk about how can they come out to be resilient, a resilient family from all of these, that they can be together, even though they chose to stay living in this area, regardless of the danger. But how can they keep the family together and love each other and the family strong, even regardless of everything that is going on?
I agree. That's one thing that I kind of mentioned was the what is it called? The
resiliency model.
the family resiliency, or that model.
Oh, yeah.
Not like the adjustment and adaptation phase and stuff like that, because if they're choosing to live there, and so there's going to have to be a lot of adjustment and adaptation to everything, and so that's kind of what I wrote down too.
Yeah.
The double ABCX theory is going to be a really good one, because obviously bad things keep happening to them, and because they live in this location, unfortunately, bad things are still going to happen. I shouldn't say bad things.
Yeah.
Hard things are still going to happen, so they're going to have to continue to progress and continue working through the model to, find balance and to continue to work well as a family, even though different things are going to happen and come at them at all different times.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought that the dad has a big role in the family, and the dad, if for some reason he's not dealing with things the way I think a healthy, like, a leader should, like I don't know what they do in other countries, but I wouldn't name my second son after my first son to keep the name alive. Like, I kind of feel like that's not, like, moving on, and I kind of feel like they said the daughter has anger issues and is going to go see or seeing a therapist, but the dad, who has just emotional scars, isn't healing at all. So I feel like if the dad kind of gets his act together, the kids will kind of follow suit. And so I think the dad just needs to be a better example to all that. And I don't know what model that fits in, though. Like, I don't know if that's pile up. I don't know if it's that the dad's I don't know where that fits. I just know that it needs to
Steve,
happen.
I really like what you're saying, and I really I really
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, she's gone. We like what you're saying. I put it under actually risks and dangers, the next question,
Yeah.
because that's a really, really good one for that one. So I'm sorry, I'm not talking. I'm typing as you guys are speaking.
No.
I agree with all what you're saying.
Yeah. That's like what I put under the risk too, because him suffering mentally is going to really have a huge effect on the rest of his family. And another risk I put was the child, the younger one that he had that's alive and stuff like that. You know, they were saying like now he wants to kill all the Israelis and stuff like that. So I think his father needs to kind of get his act together to help that child out and to let him realize like, okay, you know, it's not, I don't know how to explain, but yeah, just to help him out so then he's not so negative towards what happened to his brother, because that's definitely not going to help them move on for sure.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, because the father, like, you know, they went up to, or they digitally altered his photo to, like, make him in a graduation cap and gown, like, they named the other brother after him. It's really sad because think of how those other kids must feel. Like, his siblings, you know, they have to be pretty hurt to know that, you know, they're living in their brother's shadow. So I think that's a risk that, and a danger that the father needs to, and the mother. I don't know why they never talk about her. But that's something that the family needs to talk about and kind of, like, you know,
Reconcile.
the brother. Yeah, exactly. They need to make sure that it's a healthy way that they're remembering this brother and son and not, you know, the world revolving around him because he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yay, I'm back. I'm sorry, I clicked. I'm sorry, Haley, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. I was saying before, I really like that point of view that Steve bringing up about the dad. I also think that he's not doing the role in the family how usually father is supposed to be. I thought that he would need to use the mood lock, and that he also need. Hold on, let me look at the note again. I hope I don't sign out again. I thought that he will need the mood lock and the emotional distress worksheet, because I think the mood lock will help him to gather his feelings together about what happened living in the past. And like in my country they do that too. If one child die, they name another child after that child, and they probably do it to in remembrance or in respect of the other child. But something that I wonder now that I'm studying these things is that the second child named after the first child, he probably gonna have some identity problems. He's gonna be wondering, do they really love me for who I am, or am I just a reminder of another child? What role is here in my family? So I think the father needs emotional worksheet, and he needs the emotional distress and a mood lock to fill it out and find where he really is and solve that, and then he can guide the family to work out, like the daughter that has the psychiatric problem, and also the son that wake up with nightmare. But everything, the dad is not doing anything about it. He's just suffering along with the children. Sorry, I take so long to give my opinion.
Oh, it's all right. I think you brought up four really good points. Two that go in the principle or concepts portion, and two that go into the relevant risks or dangers portion. Like the mood log and the distress worksheet go in the first question, and then the risk and danger of, you know, the risk is the son not having his own identity,
Yeah.
and the danger is definitely the children kind of feeling like they need to emotionally be there for their dad.
Do you guys have any opinions on the risks and dangers of the uncle or the dad's brother helping out? Do you guys think of anything? Because I was thinking that he's kind of enabling. Well, not. Yeah, because it's been like 4 years, I think, since the brother had passed away, and he's kind of enabling his brother's behavior and not stepping up and taking care of the family. That was kind of my opinion. I thought, I mean, it's great that family helps each other, but it's no longer help. It's he's letting his brother. Exactly. You know what I'm trying to say. Letting his brother not take care of his family, and that's a problem. Any other thoughts on that?
Yes, I thought of the family, the brother. It was also a risk because he said that he suffered a lot when he see his brother suffering the way he is. And like you said, they're not helping each other. They're just suffering alone. They're enduring what's going on instead of coming and say, "Hey, brother, how can I help you?" Because Osama lost his job, and Paddy's brother has his own business. Maybe one way that he can help him is by giving him a job, maybe by training him in something that the brother can get out of depression. But I thought the brother also, he might need to do the emotional distress form, that he can also wake up and say, "Hey, we went through this, and now I need to help my brother." But I thought that he was a risk also, or maybe falling into depression, or feeling also as emotional as his brother was about what happened in the past. And of course, his son also got also got hurt badly, so he also need to get over that.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, we have awesome points on that one. Next one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to actually say on this one, the relevant opportunities is they have the opportunity, if they'll be willing to take it, to grow together into an. So you remember the last study, they were able to grow as a family, but by spending time together, even though they knew they were going to have a death. Well, since they've already had a death of the family, they can take that opportunity and realize that live every moment like it's the last. Don't always hold grudges against each other. And they're not saying that, but the brother, like, he has the opportunity to realize, okay, I can forgive. And that will be a huge growing opportunity for them if he's willing to take it. So I thought that was.
Mm-hmm.
I think another opportunity would be the younger siblings to. There's a fine line on this point that I have to make, because I think, the younger siblings can step up and take some of the responsibility for dad, like, I don't know, wash his clothes so that he can go to work, and like do little things so the dad can see that like he has a job to do and he has to take care of his family, but like he has their support.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the kids can do something to help their dad.
Yeah. Another thing I thought too, like, it kind of goes along with what Taylor said, but like he has the opportunity to like really appreciate his family. I mean, he's lost a son, he's had one hurt, and so that was one thing that I, thought of, and it's going to be hard for him, I feel. I mean, he's so emotionally hurt that I don't think, he's not going to realize it right off the bat, but once he can get his act together, like, I feel like he can really appreciate his family a lot more, because how easy it is to lose somebody, because, yeah, you never know what can happen, you never know what will go on, and so that was one opportunity, and I thought another opportunity, too, is that the family can grow together. Because not only did the dad lose a son, but they lost a brother also, which at the time they didn't know, or they didn't really fully understand, but because they were so young. But in the future, it's going to affect them, I feel, when they start understanding what's happening or what's happened. And so I think it's a great opportunity for them to grow as a family and go through this trial together as a family, rather than, the dad going through his own thing and the kids going through their own thing. So.
I took a little bit of a different. I think if I was in this situation, my opportunity would be to fight, and I don't mean fight in a bad way, because you know how, like, in one of the chapters there's a fight, flight, and freeze, and I think the dad, he's like a victim right now. He's frozen emotionally, And I think if he could just like find within him to fight for his children, fight for his family, fight for a job, fight for just not be a victim anymore, just like just control his own fate, even though he's in, you know, a literal place where he can't control what happens to him. If emotionally and mentally he can control, I think there's an opportunity for the family to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree to that. I think that another opportunity that they have is to find meaning, in what happened, and is to find meaning because they don't know what happened to his son after he died, or they think that they might never see their son again. And I think when people look at things from that perspective, they let me see. Okay, I got you again. Let me see here. Yeah, when people see things from that perspective, like when we don't have the gospel, people in my town, when I went to any funeral, sometimes just out of curiosity, I noticed that when they suffer in a very immense way, like if they're falling into a hole that will never end, and they see no hope, and they see no way of how to get out of the emotional distress. And I think that is they have the opportunity to really rely on whatever they believe on, or find a religion, and know that they might see their son again, and that probably will help them move on and try to, like Steve saying, do something to protect the family. The first thing I would have done is move away. I don't see any reason why they should have stayed in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We can do the next point, relationship considerations. I'll say I think the most important relationship consideration that right now is relevant is the new son, Hamid. I don't know actually how to say his name, but he is going to either gain a lot or lose a lot. And he's not going to have, I feel like, the same privileges as the other kids, no matter what. So it can either be a better situation for him or worse. So I think that's a very important relationship consideration that we'll have to look at later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sister too. She's in. I agree with the sons. The sister is in counseling for her anger issues, and I think the younger child sees the sister, maybe her example, because asking his dad for a gun, that's another way of expressing anger to me. So I think the relationship between the father and the children is a very important relationship to consider, because they're looking for some way out.
I think the relationship we mentioned, the father and his brother or the uncle, I think that needs little consideration. And then also the siblings. We didn't really talk about their relationships between each other, but there's a lot that siblings can do for each other that I wish they would have talked a little bit about in the article, but they didn't really say anything about it. But I feel like the siblings can either they can be a major support for each other in one way or another, hopefully for good. But I think that would be something that they would benefit from as a family if the siblings could get together.
That's what I wrote. That's like exactly what I wrote. Because, yeah, I was kind of overlooked that the siblings could help each other, whether in a positive or negative way. Hopefully not a negative way, but either way they have each other for some type of support, which I feel is important in this situation, especially with the loss of a brother and his sister really struggling with anger management and stuff like that. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I also thought that one of a relationship that should be considered is the new, I don't know how to pronounce it, the new Ahmed, the new boy that was named after the other boy. I think the father and other members of the family should do that, like I mentioned before, make sure, reassure him that as an individual he's appreciated in the family, even though he was named after somebody else. But I feel that everybody should have to strengthen the relationship, everybody need to communicate with each other. They need to strengthen the relationship that they have, brothers and sisters and fathers and sons, that they can support each other through this suffering that they're going through right now.
Mm-hmm. Communication is definitely good because, I mean, especially with the kids, they don't need to be holding everything in because, you know, at least for me, if I hold things in, when finally I come to my breaking point, it's like a huge bomb, like, you know, and so I think that's great that you mentioned, like, communicate with each other because I know, like, with me and my husband, like, I always tell him everything that I'm frustrated with because I know that if I hold it in the end, it's not good for especially for the kids emotionally, like to deal with that every day without expressing something. Anyways, I think it's kind of like it obviously depends on personality, but I think it's a kind of a necessity for humans because whether you think so or not, like it's still building up and it's going to come out eventually.
Yeah, guys, that's true. It doesn't come out very pretty.
Yeah.
when we are very upset and so stressed out and build up so much, then we lose control of how we express ourselves and how we do it properly. And it's better to let it go every day, little by little. Mm-hmm. My husband has become a very good listener in 20 years of being married because every day I need to empty and let go, you know. And I think this family should do that too. They need to every day talk about it with their family. But like Steve said, the father not just talking, need to do something about it too. That they listen to the children and see how can we resolve this situation, you know. But I agree to that definitely that you're saying.
I put most of that under the coping strategies, actually. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you want to add to coping strategies?
Let me see, coping strategy. Which number question? Which question is that one? I printed a thing that I don't lose you again.
It's no numbers.
Third one up.
Is it question number 2?
It's like the third one from the bottom.
Yeah, it'd be number 6 if they were numbered.
Yeah, that would be easier. I'm going to put numbers next time. Let me see. Is that a recommendation to not that one yet?
The recommended coping
strategy. Yeah, coping strategy. I just thought of those two things, coping strategy and family council, relying on each other for support and to say how they feel. And I put finding meaning in life, getting a religion that will give them hope about the son that they lost, that they might see him again. And even if their religion say we might not see you again, they can concentrate on protecting each other and protecting the family that they have right now.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I put too is it's kind of more towards the father, obviously, but for the father to not self-blame himself, that makes sense, to not be self-blaming, because I feel like he probably deep inside too feels like he failed to raise his family in a safe environment, you know, and who knows, like, I mean, especially in countries that are a little bit poorer, maybe it's hard for them to move. Maybe they don't have a place or have the funds to move, or they can't, you know. And so, anyways, I thought that was pretty important because if he feels like a failure, he is going to continue to feel or to be, how do you say, like he's gonna feel like he can't, like he's just gonna be depressed and not be able to help the family in that way. And so that was one thing that I would have said, you know, just make sure you don't feel like you're all the blame, or the blame should be all put on you. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, that was good. I made a note about making meaning of adversity. I wrote that in my notes. I don't know where I got it from, but that was in my notes. But it talks about having a positive outlook, having a positive outlook, and like using like the cognitive behavioral theory, like changing how you think and facing your fears or expressing your feelings, just using those things to help your family cope. Mm-hmm. There's so many good ways to cope. The family, I think, just has to be willing, and they have to recognize that that's like there's a way out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's true, and that finding a way, coping that way, like finding a way how to do. Somebody has to be the leader in getting everybody out of where they are, and in coping with this. The father Osama need to learn how to cope well, because like Michaela say, I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. Like Michaela said, this is let me see if I can keep my train of thought here. The father might blame himself for everything that happened. And he might say, this is my fault. I didn't protect my son, and how I'm going to protect my family. If I'm a failure, doesn't matter what I move, I still will not be able to protect him. So I think if you go through that mood lock or emotional page distress, and he feel it out, he need to realize it is not his fault. Things happen like that. And now the second time it happened again with the second child, he might think definitely this is my fault, but I think that he need to learn how to cope well and how to become stronger, that then he can do what he needs to protect the family. Yeah.
Okay, the recommendation to supporting involves parties.
I put down that it would be nice for the family to do something that would distract them from the war, which I hope this isn't like an ignorant thing to say, but like they could like go and I don't know, like go like for me, like to get out of a situation, like I would go to the park, I would go to a movie, or like go to like or like put together like a baseball game for the family to play, like just kind of get their minds off of the war that they're constantly hiding from or living in, like something that the family can do that will kind of put them in another mindset, like can kind of relieve the stress, and something that everyone can enjoy together, and they can feel free and feel happy and kind of go to that place whenever the family is like really stressed. So do an activity that distracts them, I think would be really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be very, very helpful, because when they do family that are recreational, their mind will be put into a more positive way, and they can see the good in life when they're doing things together, help them get closer to one another. I put in my notes that if they still choose to live there instead of moving, that both of the family can support each other, like Osama and his brother, and need to sit down and plan about a way how they're going to protect the things keep on happening to them. Like in my family, what we will have done is building a building or basement or something where we both family can go run to that space when the Israelis are attacking, and they can feel protected and supported by each other. So for the little children, it helps when they're with their cousins and they with little other children to play with when these attacks are coming on. So I will be like, I will think both of them can support each other by building a place of protection for when these attacks will come to them.
Sorry, I didn't say that. I was gonna say that I think that like the way to support me, like I feel like the uncle is there to like help them and support them, and he's not doing a very good job. And I think that sometimes it's okay to take over. Like it's okay, like when someone's in one of those really bad situations, or when they're suffering from a loss, that it's okay to take over and like take care of the kids and show them like how they're supposed to be until the father can get back.
So you're saying the father that it's cool for the uncle to step in because like right now the father doesn't really have like the capability to take over, so the uncle kind of fills that role, and then maybe the father will like see what he's doing and follow his example.
Yeah, that's a goal. And then like the uncle could also help the father like to come back to reality. Because I kind of feel like he's just like kind of like laying through life, not really doing anything. because he's so like stricken with grief.
I had a hard time with the last part. Sorry, I heard like about the father coming back to reality, but the last part kind of cut out.
Oh, I just said that. I feel like he is just so stricken with grief, like the father is, that he can't really like take care of his family or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, I hear ya. I guess we are being kind of hard on the dad, because maybe the dad doesn't like I just took 6 months off work because my wife and my family needed me, and so I think if other people were like, hey, Stephen, you need to step up. But to me, I'm like, I'm putting my family as a priority over work, so I did step up. So I think it's a good point. Thanks.
Yeah, my only thing with the dad not stepping up is that it's been more than a year. It's been more than 2 years. It's been more than 3 years, and I mean I can't say how long it takes for someone to cope with the loss of a child, and that's something that you can't cope, or you can cope with, but that's something that's really hard that you have to live with every day. But in my opinion, I just think that there are things that the father can do to help his family cope, and that he can find healing with the help of the uncle and with the kids, and unite as a family, even though this trial has been really difficult and something that won't hopefully it gets easier, but I mean we just don't know what happens in the war. So being able to come together.
Yeah, I guess you're also. I like your point that it's like fresh in his mind still, even though it happened so long ago. Like when he tells a story, it's almost like he's living in that moment right there. So, like, I guess we don't really see much progress in his emotional maturity or his coping from that. So maybe that's one of the things is just, I don't know, have the uncle step in for sure, but make sure we see a progress in his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for the dad, because I know when I was in 8th grade, one of our classmates passed away in a tragic accident, and that was like 7-8 years ago. And anyways, my brother, he's a senior this year. Last week, one of his classmates passed away in a tragic accident also, and it was really interesting because we went to the funeral, and my classmate's mother was sitting right in front of me. And it was really interesting to see her reaction to everything, because I feel like, I mean, I talked to her afterwards also and stuff, and it was kind of like she felt like she was at his funeral again, like that it was him again and stuff like that. And she said it's so easy for everything to just come back, just like it was yesterday. And so I understand where the father's coming from. I mean, it's not that I've been through it or anything, but to see it from a person that I was close to and stuff like that, to see that she still suffers with just the thought of anything. He passed away in a motorcycle accident. So it's like if anybody mentions a motorcycle, she said sometimes like all those thoughts and images just come back to her and stuff like that. And so I understand, like, I feel for the father because I can see why he can, that day can just come back so clear like it was yesterday. And so, I don't know, I feel bad, but at the same time, it is years, and I don't know, like eventually it has to be overcome. Not that the memories have to be, or like the day has to be completely erased from his memory, but it comes a day when, yeah, you do need to be like, okay, this did happen, but here we can progress, here we can grow, here we can do this. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is hard to move that way. In my family, when I was growing up, my mom had twins. We are 9 kids, and one of our little brother, 4 months after he was born, he died, one of the twins. And I saw how my mom and my dad were both suffering, and they were both going through the pain. But for some reason, we always expect the father to be stronger. I don't know why. And I don't think we're targeting on him in a negative way. Maybe we're saying that he's the one that needs most help right now because somebody needs to take leadership into helping the family. And that's harsh because he's also in pain. and he's also trying to know how to deal with it. But if everybody gonna look at the father like, how can you help me? Please help me. But he need to be strong that he can help for himself, that he can be more happy, and also for the family. I think that a family therapist need to come in and help, like a family life educator need to come in to the house and tell everybody individually, like, showing them some resources. So what can help the father, and what can help the son, and what can help the daughter. And maybe they all need the same kind of therapist, but they individually need to be helped. But usually we don't rely mostly on, oh, the older son can come and help when the father is still alive. I don't know if I should say sadly, or we always say the father need to be strong, even be stronger than the mother, because my dad was supporting my mother like 100%, holding her when she was crying and going through him with her pain. But he was also in pain. We just expect the fathers to be stronger for some reason. But I think a family therapist can come in and be of great help to all of them over there.
I think you just helped us with the next question, Iris. Additional resources. So a family, what did you say, a family life counselor?
Yes.
And then the daughter's therapist as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think there's I have all those. Do you have any other ones, do you guys think? That I think counseling's a great thing, and finding support groups. I also thought that for this one, it may or may not fall in this category. I think it would. Everyone is in the war zone right now. It's not just them. And so a lot of people are losing people right now. So I think that it's something very good thing to find right now would be finding other people, their friends and their family members that have lost people, and talk to each other about it, because sometimes hearing other people's opinions and how they're coping with the situation, but on how they're dealing with the situation will help you deal with the situation as well. So I think it falls under a few categories, but it can go under any of those. So.
No, that's a really good point. Kind of like a support group that they can put together. And I just think this just makes me so grateful for the gospel, because I can think of doing family home evening and going to church and having ward members to support me and things like that. So we should send missionaries. That's another resource. Not really, that was a joke, but you could put it if you want.
Now, I really like the idea of group or the like group support, because in group support, since everybody, like he said, that is normal. Something like that happened in my house is normal. That happened to families here in this area. So again, she's seeing that this is something normal, and he resentful that Israelis are coming and doing that to them. But I think family support, that they can feel that everybody feeling the same pain, maybe will help them in this area as a resource, that they can at least not feel as bad as they feel.
Yeah, I think too that support groups like that, I mean, like Taylor was saying, everybody deals with their trials differently, and maybe in groups like that, you know, they can see that other people can move on and kind of be back to, you know what I mean? And so, like, with that example of not saying stronger families, I don't want to say their family's weak or anything, but with families that are a little bit more able to cope faster or better, that they'll be able to be like, okay, yeah, that they're, yeah. And so, I don't know, that would help me at least, knowing that other people have moved on, especially through the same exact tragedy that I've gone through, so.
Kind of feel like this is normal.
Yeah.
Like, this is my life. This is everybody's life. Like, this is the baseline. So.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Yeah, I just started building into the idea of family or group support. I think it might help I just thought of them. It might help like just fathers or husbands group support. Because maybe it might be easier for a father or a husband to come to this group support if it is just a group of men and they can express how they feel. I don't know if it's easy for men to be open to their feelings, but maybe there's somebody like a therapist or a counselor guiding the group into helping them open up and saying how they feel. Maybe other fathers feel the same way, and they can realize how they're feeling, and they can realize that they need to get out. Not to forget the child, because you never forget a family member, but at least to move on into, okay, what can I do for the future to prevent this, and what can I do this and this. We had a family in our ward who they have one of their teenagers was losing weight like really, really fast, and they got a little concerned, and they took him to the hospital, and they found out that he had cancer. And it took them by surprise. Everything happened so quick. But everybody in the ward was just concerned about the mother. How is the mother feeling? Oh, the mother might be really this and this. How is the mother handling? And the father kept on saying, you know, I'm suffering too. He just said it. I am going through a very hard time. But it was very hard for us to go and give a hug to the father. It was easier giving a hug to the mother. So I think if the father can have some support also in the work, like that interview that he did, he was able to open up and to say his feeling. If they know, if they chose to live in this area, maybe they can all meet together, or the father, and talk about these things, and maybe they might come back with a plan of action, or what can they do to get out of that feeling and to support each other.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I wonder if, like, too, I mean, because I mentioned it in, I don't remember if it was last week's discussion board or, I don't know, about the ABCX model, how, like, for different ages and stuff, it might be better because, I don't know, like, maybe they'll need sessions with different ages of the family, like, maybe for the parents and then for the kids, because, I mean, if the kids go to this council, or to this group support or whatever, and all these adults are talking, like, you know, big words or, like, just concepts that the children don't know yet, maybe, you know, I don't know how they would go about that, because, you know, it'd be like an adult teaching, like, or trying to relate to these children, but, I don't know, maybe it would be good to have that different type of lesson, too, because, like I said, the kids might not understand as much when they're counseling with their parents. I don't know. That's
a great point. I think they need help individually, like everyone individually, and maybe when they feeling when they are a little better out of what they feeling, they can have some counseling as a family. But I think initially they need individual help, where they can each, the therapist can relate to them individually and just focus on one person at a time. So I love that idea that they need individual help, each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, do we need anything else?
No, I'm just submitting it now. We had over 150 words for each section, so good.
That's awesome.
So we are good. Well,
Cool.
I don't know. Are we supposed to submit the link? I added it to the submission, but I didn't know. Am I supposed to submit it somewhere else?
I think you just put it in the paper somewhere.
Yeah, I put it in the paper and I put it in the comment area. So I think that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I submitted ours last time, and I just put it in the comment box.
Okay, that's what I'll do then. Well, you guys did awesome.
Yeah, thanks for being a scribe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, have a great day, you guys. See ya.
All right, bye.
Yeah.